Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. Today we're back with another episode of UMRV Upper Mississippi River Valley, and we're going to be moving time forward into spring. But before I do that, I realized we've got an enormous amount of debt that we're carrying forward with us every day. If we look in here at our finance screen, you can see that our vehicle leasing costs on a per month basis are really quite high. And we've also got somewhere in here some miscellaneous costs. And I believe that this is a field that we have rented. I forgot completely that we were using the lease farmland mod and we're leasing a piece of ground. And that's costing us a little bit of money every day as we move time forward here. So I figured before we advance through the entirety of winter, what we would do is we'd max out our local loan here and we'd see what kind of equipment we can buy for 100K. It's not a bunch, but I think the interest on our loan payment here and increasing that by 100,000 is going to be a little bit less than the leasing costs that we've been paying. And we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. I haven't actually yet bought any of the equipment that we've been leasing. I've just been kind of letting it go. So I thought we'd come in here and see what we can find. Something that I know we're going to be hanging on to is probably like this slurry tank. We've been using this a lot. Let's see what we could purchase this for. 68,000, that's a good purchase. That's going to get rid of one thing that we're leasing. And I don't know, actually, we might need to hang on to that other $30-some thousand just because I'm a little bit worried about having the money for seed and stuff in the spring. But at the same time, maybe we can buy something else. What's this truck going to cost? $95,000. That's a lot. And then I think the other thing we'll buy here is the header for our whatchamacallit, our mower here. Those two combined, that will allow us to save a little bit of money. The 16,000 we're going to have to hang on to. I don't think we've got anything else that cheap. And we are making money every day as we move forward. If I just, it's been a minute since we've done this. I'm going to move time forward here across the midnight so we can see exactly what we're paying out every month here. Or I should say every day. We've got 4 days in the month. And you can see here we've got some loan interest, miscellaneous, a lot of vehicle leasing, and property maintenance. The miscellaneous is our field lease. And so that's what, 10, 11, 12, I don't know, somewhere in the 12, 13,000 range. But when we tick over past 6 a.m. here, our milk automatically sells every day. And I believe we're bringing in just over 20K. So we are making a net profit every day, even with our extreme amounts of debt. We just got to keep the farm running, hopefully keep these cows fed until we can get into the next season here. Now, since it's also been a few weeks since we've had regular episodes, let's take a quick look at our animals. We are sitting in a pretty good spot. I've got all of these calves are moving through puberty. And so as soon as these get to 18 months old, we'll be able to start doubling up on our profits. So I'm just feeding them hay in the meantime. We've got plenty of hay now to keep them going. And the rest of these cows are well on their way towards another reproduction cycle, at which point all of our barns will be full. And that means that we're going to start making some really good money here pretty soon, as long as we can keep them fed, which we're doing a pretty good job of so far. And so I think at this point, with all of those finances out of the way, we're in a good spot. We're going to keep the clock moving forward, and I will see you in spring. That moment where you remember that you needed to put some nitrogen down on your grass fields, but it's snowing already. But no, seriously, we're committed to getting this done. We are finally here in spring, and what we're gonna do is check on a couple of our fields here real quick. I don't remember what we planted in these fields. It's been so long since we were out here doing harvest, it feels like. And I just want to make sure that we're properly rotating our crops. I know there's a mod out there now for crop rotation, but people were having a little bit of problems with that in previous versions. And this used to be a soybean field, so this is going to be corn out here. We're going to put corn in this big field, and then I think what we're going to do is put soybeans in this other large field that we just purchased last fall. So I'm going to drive over to that field and we're going to check on that. I'm almost positive that was a corn field that we purchased just to get some more corn harvested here and in the silos at the end of the year there, but I could be mistaken. So that's why I want to run over here and check it out. We might have to put some corn on corn in one of these fields if we don't feel like we've got enough acres. We got all the way to April here, and we've still got a little bit of feed in both of the animal pens. I've used up all of the hay that we've got, though. Luckily, we've already got a couple of our smaller fields are ready for cutting again. So I want to make sure we're getting started on our planting season. With the way the season's calendar works out on this map, we're able to get our corn in here in April, which is going to be good. And I'm just looking here to see if it'll tell me what crop this used to be. I've got to probably find a spot I didn't do great tillage on before. The pH value is actually pretty bad in this field. Only in some areas, not in others. We might have to get out here and do a little bit of pH as well to get this field back to normal. Oh, this field was soybeans as well. That's actually maybe a good thing. Maybe we'll put corn in both of these big fields, and then we'll do soybeans in all of the smaller fields around the farm. That might be a great way to balance things out, because I know we did have corn in those last time around. We were doing a lot of the corn silage right up there by the farm. So this will be a great way to mix things up. We'll get a couple of big corn fields going. Maybe we'll silage one and we will do the other as actual corn that we plan to sell up to the elevator. That might be a good change of pace for us here. It probably took me close to 2 hours to move the time forward all the way to spring here from I think we started in November at the beginning of the episode, and that was just me running feed to the animals nonstop while I moved the clock forward ever so slowly. So we're sick and tired of feeding animals at this point, but we've got to keep them going. And I think we've only really got one more day worth of feed in all of our barns. If we take just a quick look at the menu here, you can see 57. I want to say we're using around 30,000 a day of mixed ration. So we've got just over a day here. You can see we're about to go through our reproduction cycle again, which means we will be completely full up on cows at that point. We'll have 500 in each of these pens, and the 500 calves we had previously are now halfway through puberty. We got to get to 18 months before they're productive. And so I'm thinking what we're going to do when that day comes is as soon as we have this next batch of calves, we're going to pull all of the calves out of one of these barns. We're going to move all of the cows over to have all of the cows in the same barn and all of the calves in the other barn. That will allow me to do what I did with this batch of calves, which is I've just been feeding them hay, not wasting our more valuable silage or more importantly TMR on the calves. We're just going to feed them out with hay until they get to 18 months, at which point we'll start feeding them the whole package here. Now we are generating a lot of slurry in these pits. We might have to figure out if there's something we can do to sell off that slurry. It looks like Patterson Grain and Export is going to buy that at $66. So it's not worth a whole lot, actually. It's only worth about $100,000 if we were to sell off all the slurry that we've got. But we're not doing anything with it. We're well ahead of the curve, so we might have to start looking for some of those opportunities. However, before we can do that, we need to get our planting started for the year. We've got both a planter and a drill here. I think what the plan is for me is we're going to start planting our corn and probably drilling the beans. I'm trying to remember, we've got some saddle tanks for this tractor here somewhere. We might need to pull these on out of the shed and get them hooked up to our 7810 here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can just drag these out here into a spot where we can get them all hooked up on the 7810. And then I think I should be able to squeeze in here and grab that planter as well. And then we'll move this drill around. And I think it should be all good to go for soybeans. We were using it for grass last time, but I don't think there's really anything we need to switch over. It's not like the soybeans are really going to need any nitrogen or anything applied with them, so we should be good to just drill those in, I feel like. But knowing that we're going to put corn in these two big fields, I know I want to get started. We don't have a very large planter. It's going to take a little bit. I think last year we actually got a demo unit out on the farm that I used with a 8RT and a nice big 36 row planter. This thing is a little bit smaller than that. See if we can go in cab here to navigate the yard a little bit easier. These big Demco saddle tanks always blocking the view a little bit here. Now I'm bringing us over to the shed over here. I've been using this for storing a lot of our products. I think I've got both a few pallets of liquid fertilizer left over here, as well as some seed in here. Now I don't know if we're gonna fit through these doors with the saddle tanks on. I think it's a close fit. There we go. The hope is that we can go ahead and fill these up ahead of going out there. Use up some of these pallets, get stuff out of the way. Lots of leftover product from last year. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, there's liquid tanks on both the planter as well as the Demco saddle tanks. So I think we filled both of those up. We've got quite a bit of liquid fertilizer now, and with the manure already spread on the fields, I don't expect we'll actually need much more. Before we take this last pallet though, I want to run over and make sure that we've got seed in that drill as well. It looks like we've actually got a fair amount of seed here. I don't think soybeans use a lot, so I'm gonna leave that pallet sitting in here. We'll see who needs seed first, if it's the planter here or the drill once we get things going. I'd like to keep my options open just so that we can keep things moving as needed. Now, since we have to put a little P and K on that field over there still, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start planting in this field here, and I can get a worker going on putting the corn in. We'll get a worker going on drilling those beans in on the other side, and then I can go and run the fertilizer here in the P&K spreader. I think that's gonna be the best use of our time. We might have to run up and pick up a little bit more of the fertilizer. I'm saying P&K, I'm thinking of American farming at this point. We've got lime here in Farming Simulator. We've got the pH that we need to apply to those fields. Let's see here. We are in the field. I don't need the flashers anymore. Let's get going here on a course. We're going to generate a number of headlands. 2 should be sufficient. And it looks like it generated a course this way this time, which is interesting. A little bit more turning around, but probably handles this weird area down there a little bit easier. The start point, though, they want me to start way down on the other side of the field, which seems a little bit awkward, but why not? We'll let it go. It'll figure itself out. Oh, it's going to fold up to drive over there. Well, I'm going to assume that's going to figure itself out, and we're going to jump around the equipment circus here and see if we can bring this drill out to one of our other fields and get it started on the soybeans here. We've only got 25 bushels here. Not a lot of beans, but the fields on this side of the farm are a lot smaller, so we'll see how this works out. I was tempted to switch out and put the articulated tractor on this drill. That's what I usually run on the drill here, but I think we'll keep this here and we'll use the big articulated to spread the fertilizer. I think that'll be a better mix-up for us. And you can see here the grass does look ready to mow on our right-hand side here. Both of these fields, actually, I would expect to be ready to go. So as soon as we get all the planting going and the fertilizer spreader moving here, well, I think we'll be able to jump into that job as well. So we're going to come in here, create a job. 2 headlands sounds good. And much like the other one, it wants me to start all the way over on the other side of the field. That's all right. We'll let it go. Should be able to figure this out. Just coming back here to check. Oh, we did get started on the planting. Everything's looking good over here. This little 7810 just kind of works, which I always like with this planter. Haven't had too many problems at all with it. So we'll let this go and we'll check back in a little bit. 9 miles an hour, it's rocking and rolling. Which means we need to come over here. We're gonna grab this articulated tractor. What is this? I forget even the 9620? Yeah, 9620. And we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this and see if we can use this to hook up to that big dry fertilizer spreader. Looks like we're a little bit caught up on the auger there with our exhaust pipe. My bad. And if I remember right, I left the fertilizer spreader parked in that building with the other materials. So we're gonna sneak around and see if I can squeeze in the backside of this. This is where I'm actually thinking I should have used the 96, what is the other RT that we've got out there? I don't even remember now. Is it a 9620 RT? We should have used that for the spreader. I think that would have fit into this shed a lot easier. But let's see. Let's see if we can make this work out. Plus, I think the Pro Force that we've got is the tracked version. And that would have matched up a little bit better, probably. But it is what it is. We're mixing and matching our equipment today. Doing something a little bit different just for the fun of it. And I really hope this doesn't have a bunch of dry fertilizer in it right now. I really want to make sure that we're able to use this for the lime. It does have lime in it. Perfect. All right, here we go then. We made it, folks. It's a tight fit. Now, I'm not going to put any pH on the grass field here just yet. I'm not super worried about that. Although the boost in yield might come in handy there at some point. Instead, we're going to head straight on out to the field here that we're planning on putting corn into. And once we're out there, I'm probably going to call the co-op and have them deliver a little bit more lime out for us rather than running up to town myself. I think one of the things I like most about getting to this stage of a farm is the ability to have multiple different workers off doing different jobs around the farm. Makes things feel more alive, knowing that I've got somebody out planting, somebody out in a field with the drill, and we're heading out with a spreader here to do another job. And honestly, I could probably set something up with the mower and get that going so that we can bale it afterwards. But these fields that we're going to mow are actually kind of small, so I'll probably just end up doing those myself. It's often not worth the effort to try and get course play set up and running for those. So maybe what we'll do is we'll actually use course play to do this job for us. That would probably be a better use of our time. Turn these flashers off. Let's see what we can do. Already see that we've got the drill going back and forth up there on the rows. I'm liking it. And we've picked the right fields here. Number of headlands with this big working with, it should only need 2 as well. Actually, maybe we'll just do 1 with such a big implement. I think that's going to be even better. I don't expect to run into any problems here. And yep, we're all good to go. I'm going to go ahead and just have him start off. Man, we've got, are we doing lands mode on this? Hang on. Center, direction. Nope, up, down mode. Okay. Well, start job. Now, I know he's going to run out of lime. Like I said, we'll call the co-op out here to get this guy filled back up here in a little bit. Just make the rounds. Let's check in on our different workers here. Planter seems to be doing a great job. And I'm a plant the headlands last kind of a guy. I know there's a lot of debate on that, but that's what we're going to be doing here today, folks. And then jumping out here. Oh, no, we're doing skip rows on our drill, really? I guess I didn't look at the settings very well for that. It's too late now. We're going to let that do its thing, and we'll just skip a row, run the drill here. I think this drill could have turned back in on itself without too many difficulties, but it is what it is. It's a big field. We're going to knock this out pretty quick. I'm not too worried about it. And then, wow, this guy started early. That's all right. Hopefully precision farming's going to take care of all of this for us here. Not waste too much product. But we're off to the races here as well. All right. Well, let me get the lime brought out here for this guy from the co-op real quick, just to make sure we can keep things moving, and because he's just ripping through this too quickly. And then we'll jump over and start mowing some hay, I think. All right, we've got this swather stuck back here behind a bunch of other equipment, and I don't really have anything else to move that equipment out, so I'm going to see if we can sneak up and around on the backside of this hill and get our swather out of here. A good job. And I need to get across the road here, so we're gonna cut through the cow pasture here, I guess. There's always a ton of animals back here. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this driveway completely clear and able to be driven down. I am trying to run the clock up a little bit faster now too. I know we've talked about this in episodes past, but I feel like 5x is pretty good. I think I could go up to 7x and then spend multiple days doing things. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, except I think we've only got a little over 1 day of feed left for these cows. I don't really want to be scrambling to feed them. I don't want to accidentally have productivity on the cows go down and hurt our milk production, so we're just going to be doing this a little bit slower right now, and we're going to see if I can find a good AB track on our 360. There we go, a nice and straight for me, and then I will probably need to take another pass over there to clean up this bit that we're missing. No sense of leaving good grass in the field here. I suppose we're going to need to do headlands and such manually, no matter what we do. Probably just finish doing the first time around by hand, and then I can leverage GPS a little bit more now that we've got it set, I suppose. And just like that, we're on the straight and narrow. GPS is working out wonderfully here, and we should be able to knock out the rest of the hay here nice and quick. Now, if I was thinking and a little bit smarter and had used the GPS functionality more, I guess I would save a GPS course on this so that when I'm running the baler, I can also use GPS and it matches up width-wise. But I haven't played around with that a lot, and it looks like our lime spreading has come to a stop. Ran out of fertilizer, so I'm going to have to deal with that here as well. I think I am going to take a second headland pass off, though, around the edge of this field just to make it a little bit easier for us when we're turning around with GPS. We'll have to take a look at the menu for this and save a course out. I always find the user interface for the course management stuff to be a little unintuitive for me for whatever reason with GPS. I know a lot of people have mentioned there's a couple of other steering mods like that I need to check out. I'm always curious. I've loved Wobster's GPS since, I don't know, previous versions of the game. I've always just used it because it's the one that I remember most of the keyboard commands for, but you'd think I'd have bothered to learn how the course management works by now, but I just haven't found the time. So maybe we'll do that here this episode. Maybe we'll make that a priority. I think what I'm going to do, though, is as long as I'm stopped right here, we're going to stop And whoops, that's the wrong key. We're going to stop here and go check on that lime spreader. Oh no, it's the drill that ran out of seed. So we're going to have to run some seed out here for the drill. And it looks like, yep, our lime spreader has to do some crazy backing up maneuvers here. It looks like interesting. I don't know what's going on and why it's trying to back up here, but we'll let it do its thing. It looks like this was in lands mode after all. It skipped all kinds of chunks of the field. I don't know what's going on. I need to pay better attention when we're setting up our course. The only worker here doing what I expect him to be doing is the planter right now. I've got the last pallet of seeds that we had loaded up here. It's 28.3 bushels, which doesn't sound like a ton, but that is quite a bit when it comes to seed, I think. So we'll see how far this gets us. I think if I just bring it right up here to the back, we're going to be able to get it all filled up. And then I'm going to start this on the nearest waypoint. Just make sure it gets going here. There it goes. All right. Well, that's going to work out well. Hopefully, we can get a good chunk of this field done with that. And if not, we're going to have to go talk to the bank and get a little bit of that money back. We were paying down our loan throughout the winter, and I think we probably paid down a little bit more than we should have. We should have kept a little extra operating money to handle our spring costs here. But we're going to just park the pickup here on the other side of the road, hop on out, and we will get back to cutting some of this hay. We've got GPS for a reason here. Let's get on the straight and narrow. And now somebody's already stopped. I bet that's the lime spreader this time. Oh, goodness. There's always something to do. Well, I think what I'll do, I think we're going to finish with cutting this grass field, because if I keep jumping back and forth, we're never going to get it done. So let me cut this up and we'll go make sure that lime spreader's moving as well. All right, I have gotten done with cutting the hay. We went over and refilled the lime spreader one more time here. I've got to just now get the tractor set up and switched over for baling. I think I'm going to leave this swather here. We have the other field that we still need to mow here, but rather than jump into that, I'd rather get switched over and see if we can do a little bit of the baling. I think this 4440 is going to be a good fit on the baler, since the 7810 is out and busy running the planter today. And I like the idea that we're going to have all of our tractors on the farm out doing jobs at the same time. This will be the fourth tractor we'll have out in the field, and that's just a good feeling. Move it, cow. Move it. I can still see at least the drill running out there, which is encouraging. It means we haven't run out of seed yet. And then I'm kind of curious to check in on the corn planter and the fertilizer spreader here as well. Maybe we'll do that before we start baling this hay up. I know it's often that I miss the notifications from the workers. Don't have the best cell phone coverage out here apparently when they text me to ask for more product or let me know that they ran into some problems and whatnot. Oh yeah, we're making great progress out here on planting this corn. I didn't expect it to go this fast, to be honest. Not using that much seed either. We're getting through it, and definitely not using that much liquid fertilizer, which is encouraging. It means we're gonna do well here. We can even use some of this in the sprayer on our grass fields if we need, after we get done mowing them all out here. So this is gonna go well. I'm gonna let this worker continue. The drill is halfway done. It's on its way back now, but we are gonna need some more seed, so I'm gonna have to take out a little bit more of a loan and get another pallet of seed out here. We've been burning down our money again, buying lime for the lime spreader. Doesn't cost a lot, but we're going through it pretty quick. Seed is going to cost us a little bit more, I think, though, but I'll get a couple pallets of seed out here real quick, And with our lime spreader all filled up here, it looks like we'll probably be able to get done with this last tank. We've only got a couple more passes left in this field and the headlands, I guess, but there's a lot of overlap on those headlands. Hoping this is the last tank we need of lime. So let's go ahead and get some seed. I could get 900 for that. Where's the other seed pallets? I think you get more on these pallets, a little bit more bushels. We'll buy bags instead of the big one. And I'm gonna buy a couple pallets of these this time, just because I think we're gonna run out on the corn as well at some point here. I think I can get 2 pallets in the back of the truck if we try. Can I get my tailgate to go down? There we go. We'll do that. And I've got them delivered. The co-op just left them laying out in the yard here for us. How nice of them. Should be able to get these up here. Definitely brings back memories of loading bags of seed up in the back of the truck when I was a younger man. We had a 12-row planter that we used to load bags by hand to keep it going. I left that 4440 running, I think, over there on the baler. Hopefully we're not burning through too much fuel. I think our drill is all the way down on the other end of the field here, which is usually when you run out of seed in the most inconvenient spot possible. So we're just gonna jet down the side of the field here and we'll cut across. It's a little bit uneven over here. There we go. I also like just watching all the bags disappear as we load up the drill. It's kind of a cool effect. Get this thing unfolding and we'll go ahead and fire off the course. I suspect 2 bags are gonna be enough now to finish this field. We'll see though, I suppose. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the pickup back up to the farm. We'll probably need to load up that other pallet for the planter at some point when we go to get started planting that other field. But for the moment, I think we're good to go. We've got both of our planting setups moving here. I'm feeling pretty good. We've been getting a lot done this episode. I think we'll probably wrap things up here for the day though, and when we get back next time, we'll work on baling. We're gonna work on getting both these fields finished, and we'll probably jump into the next set of fields. Fun to think though that we've really almost got about a third of our field work done for the spring just by knocking out the big fields first and all these big jobs. So that's going to be all for today. Ketterk out. Hello and welcome to Ketterk Farms. We're back with... Oh, we already started this episode.